there were points in our journey and looking at a lot of different businesses that you each favored something different. And that, for quite a while, we were, kind of looking at some different options, and it felt, and there was a day that it seemed like it came out and we admitted that, Stephen, you liked one, Betsy, you liked another. So, and that's true, that's common with a lot of couples. So how did you guys kind of talk through that or work through that together as a couple? If I can get a little personal with you about that.
Sure. Well, I think in general, I was looking at what I thought Stephen's skill sets were and where we could be profitable, um, going off of the things that he already knew. So reducing the learning curve and the ramp to profitability, that, had me very excited about a particular business. And then on the other hand, you weren't as excited about that because that was more aligned with what you just came out of.
From a concept standpoint, I think there were very interesting other businesses that we could get involved in, and I think that sort of touched on a couple of different things that we were both very interested in too. But like I go back to like even when we first filled out the questionnaire that you gave us, and how I answered those questions. And then looking back at it, like how I would answer those questions differently now, after having gone through the process, because Betsy's right. There was some familiarity there, operationally, scheduling laws, whatever it might be, that really fell in line with what I had done in the past. But at the same time, there's sort of this kind of yearning to maybe get into something different. And at the same time, too, what was it? It was the franchise evaluation uh, uh, spreadsheet that you had sent us.
Yes, the
Yes, the
comparison
votes.
tool.
That's right.
Yes. Hmm.
That was kind of it. I think that sort of was a very telling kind of way of quantifying the businesses that we were looking at. That at the time I was kind of more one, and Betsy was kind of another. I think that really both really.
Well, and I would say too that it also allowed us to say we're sort of at an impasse here where you don't want to do this, but I'm looking for a certain performance over time. So let's go back to Leslie and find out where do we go now? Because maybe neither one of these are fitting the needs of both of us. So then you would come back to the table with yet another opportunity.
And that's very common, that there's negotiation points between couples on things, but also, Betsy, you use the word nonlinear, and that's a very good one. When people begin a journey like this, they may not know what they want yet in this. They have some ideas, but it just takes looking at some very different opportunities to start to crystallize the priority list. What are the must-haves versus the nice-to-haves and all of this. And oftentimes people end up choosing something that is very different than what they thought that they were going to choose. You guys, I'm sure, never in a million years thought that you were going to be in the digital marketing business when we started this journey. Yet here we are, and it's something new. And it does leverage some skills that you have, but not exactly like where you were coming from, Stephen. So it's an opportunity for you both to learn some new things in the future.
That's a great point. I mean, that really is a great point. And in those terms, I mean, that's it. Yeah, I've got skills that I can leverage for sure, but then there's also a part of it where, I'm very much looking forward to mastering a new set of skills and learning something completely different and getting into something completely different, which sounds sort of scary, but certainly very beneficial in terms of, just the direction that we're going and how that aligns with our family and just everything else that we want to accomplish moving forward. So.